we go, guys. What's up? I have Instagram here. It's no efficient way with these softwares to actually integrate them. There is, but I'm working on that. Of course, me and Bishop always had this problems with Instagram and Facebook and YouTube all running. But welcome. Thank you so much for attending and being here. Set this phone down here with Instagram, Facebook. You guys are here, and I appreciate it for you guys showing up. We got some fun times here tonight. I think I want to take this little jacket off because I think I'm a little warm. How's everyone doing? Hey, Mrs. Mother White. Hopefully, you guys, how are you guys out there? Let's go ahead and unravel here a little bit. Pull the hair down. You guys like that? Of course, on the other one, it says this is meant Soul Tribe. I make a lot of different clothing just because I think it's kind of fun. It's so good to have you guys this evening. And, you know, I'm going to 100% just, I have a lot prepared in the sense that I want you guys to be able to fully eh, embrace some of these things. There's a lot. I'll try to not be, it'll probably be a little deep, but at the same time, I believe you'll be able to adapt and adopt and be able to really connect to what it's saying or what it means. Everyone there that's popping up on uh, Instagram, I'm gonna go ahead and pin that. So this evening, what I would like to do is 100% is set an intention. Right? It's Thursday. It is the 22nd of 2024. Uh, this is this place and this is the time. One of the interesting things about time is the fact that we have used it, of course, to chronologically, right, date ourselves so that we have an essence of understanding our existence. How do you how does that sound to you? You remember what what Bishop used to say? He talked about how are you doing versus how are you dying? So what I would love to do right now, I'm not sure where you are in your space, but what I would like for you to do is just take a moment right now and kind of if you're sitting up, right? Um or laying down, either way it goes. Some people are watching it on TV. So what I want you to do is be able to set intention. And set an intention is releasing. We had a whole day, everybody had a whole day, whatever that day consisted of. And what I would like for you to do is be able to take a moment and just to relax, right? And we're going to get into a relaxed state as we prepare to hear and we prepare to um, communicate. And you know what? This is for all of us. Um, I want to make sure there I could see the comments. Good to see you, Mr. Christopher Deidre. Mr. Ruben, we appreciate you. I see Miss Dolores just logged on. And then, of course, on Instagram, we have quite a few people there. And so I appreciate you guys for stopping through. So what we're going to do is I want you to, if you can kind of sit up, straighten your back a little bit. And what I would like for you to do is just take some deep breaths in your nose and release. And we want to do this again. We want to take a deep breath in your nose, slowly, and release. Setting intention is when you be present on purpose. To be present on purpose. And in order to be present on purpose, what we can do is we can take a beat, take a breath. take a moment of time to connect to the body. I consider that a level of mindfulness, right? Meditation is vast. And so mindfulness is an awareness where we will be more connected and more aware. You can be mindful of what your surrounding is, right? The room, the walls, things, the screen, but then draw it in closer, right? And then become aware of you. You're aware of your toes, you're aware of your legs, knees. You can work your way up. You become aware of your, come up to your back and your spine and your hips as you move. Become more aware of your torso, your upper body, your neck. Then we can go a little deeper and we could be aware of our breathing, aware of our lungs and our breath, aware of our heart. And do me a favor and take a deep breath and try to breathe from the heart. Have you ever heard of that? Breathe from the heart. Taking a deep breath, breathing from the heart, like you actually can feel the breath, life, the heart, and the brain are interconnected, and the gut. The world needs to expand. The world is expanding. And I have a theory that the world is expanded outside of us. We are the one that are expanding, and we need to continue. As you're doing slow breaths, focusing on the heart, this is a level of mindfulness. And we begin to meditate, and a practice of it is when we can begin to feel the thoughts. And how we feel the thoughts, we would understand the observer. You got the body, but who is observing the body? Who is observing the heart? What is observing? That is your spirit. That is your divineness. That is the oneness. Deep breaths. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for, and I have my notes here, and you guys, if you have questions, please put them in the comments and I will come back to those. Please interact with each other. I will definitely um, um, go back to those and look over. I have another screen so that I could focus on my notes. And let's have a wonderful time here. I need to pull down this monitor over here is extremely bright, and it's way too bright for me. There we go. Whew. So this evening, what we have here, this is a deep subject, a deep topic in a way. It can be deep, but I don't want you to feel deep about it. I just want you to be in the presence of trying to connect to it. Most of the people that are following me have an understanding or are connected in some kind of way. And we are looking and searching and wanting to connect to the higher self. And as we connect to the higher self, we might have or develop higher principles or higher connection to the principles and begin to be skeptics, right? Skeptics. So being a person that it wants to go higher or get connected to the higher self, right? As we look at the past, of course, I'll probably frequently bring up Bishop Carlton and some others, but he was the one that I was just with and hosting, and we talked about things like hell and sin and things from the Bible. But what happens was he became a deeper skeptic. Skepticism is just a part of this whole idea of consciousness and being able to inquire and be inquisitive and protect ourselves. Like, wait a minute. And so, in order for you to raise or go into another level of who we are as a species, right? Our skepticism can begin to question and in a healthy way question without being afraid. So this evening, I want to make sure that it's practical too. So that's the reason why the topic is a practical mystic, right? Um, Let me see, make sure I have this right because you sit there and you take notes and take notes. And let's see here real quick because I want to make sure that I get this correct. Okay. Yes, a practical mystic in a skeptical world, right? A practical mystic in a skeptical world. So take it a bit. There's I would say a theologian, and let's just look at it from this perspective of mysticism. So within mysticism, of course, you have Muslim mystics. You would have, of course, Christian mysticism. You would have Jewish, right? You have these various um, backgrounds or release beliefs or religions, right? That would be mystics. There we go. So I want you to take adventure here, and I want you to listen to this guy. And he is probably one of the most popular people that would talk about mysticism from a Christian perspective. Here we go. And for Instagram, I'll just have to show you.
Well, a mystical person would be someone who's committed to the search for a deeper contact with God. Now, there's certain people in the tradition who've achieved that in a very supreme way. And these are the people who are often called mystics, people like Teresa of Avila, or John of the Cross, or Bernard of Clairvaux, or Augustine, and Meister Eckhart, and various others. These people are kind of exemplars, supreme exemplars of finding God in a deeper sense. But I think everybody is called to be a mystic. Everybody's called to be on the mystical path, which is the path of trying to find God in a deeper way in your life. Some modern theologians have spoken about everyday mysticism. And I think that's a good term because it means that every Christian every day should really be attentive to this search for deeper contact with God. I use the example of basketball. Lots of people like to play basketball, but there are only a few Michael Jordans or LeBron James or people like this who play it supremely well. But lots of people still enjoy playing it. I think every Christian should be trying to be a mystic in the sense of finding God in a deeper way, and look up to the example and read from the great mystics who have led the way in a certain sense.
He is a Christian mystic. Some people, when we think about this, we think about the occult and understanding the occultism, right? And the various things when it comes to practices, and people would talk about the New Age and talk about various things about the occult, right? And so, although we do have some of these practices in our lives, we just don't necessarily pay attention to these practices. I'm gonna read something real quick to you guys as we delve into this practice of mysticism and skepticism, right? Being a skeptic, it's essential to recognize the profound relationship between the two. The concept of a mystic and a skeptic embodies an individual who navigates the realms of spiritual experiences and mystical insights with grounded approach. That's key. I want you to remember that grounded approach, emphasizing the importance of inquiry, discernment, and a critical perspective. So a lot of times what happens is when we think about these things, especially when we think about the expansion of who we are and the expanded consciousness, and as we delve and get away or away from things like in America, the Bible, and we move into other practices, what happens is people that would be, of course, afraid begin to speak about things about having discernment. And one of the number one things that's so interesting they'll do is they'll people will say, you need to have discernment, you've been tricked, you've been uh, um, deceived. And it's always the one that's deceived that comes back and tells everyone else that they're deceived. I don't really tell anyone necessarily they're deceived. I worry about my own deception, but really I'm worried about my own critical perspective and being able to think, being able to think what I'm thinking. And then after I'm thinking what I'm thinking again. And sometimes with meditation, you stop thinking. Understand? You don't, you don't, you don't think so much. You stop thinking, right? Carl Jung is a person I will refer to. He was a pioneer in exploring the depths of the human psyche. He once said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. I'm gonna do that again. I want you really got to get this, because this is existentialism, right? This is the shadow work. One does not become enlightened just by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. There's another statement that I believe he would say, until you make, I'd have to paraphrase, but until you make your darkness come to light, until you can see that, all of a sudden you will still be blind, essentially. You won't be able to see. You won't be able to see, or you won't be able to discern. You won't be able to connect. That right there, to me, it encapsulates the essence of the mystic and the journey of discovery, right? Of who we are. It's not merely about seeking the light or indulging in the ethereal aspects of mysticism. I have these two screens and it's bugging me. But rather confronting and understanding the shadows, the unanswered questions, and the complexity of our existence. The process of making the darkness conscious requires a balance of being open minded to the mystics and a skeptical approach to discern the truth from illusion, what is not real. Our bodies naturally will, um, it will, if you see something and you believe it's a snake, your body will respond as it's a snake. And then when you find out it's a rope, all of a sudden your body will still process as though it's seeing a snake. And then it'll have to calm down. I'll go, I'll come back to that, because that's a very important thing about stress today. And that's very important about the reason why we do need to have a practice within meditation. And there's some other things that we can do so that we can learn to maintain and manage our stress, maintain our life, and maintain our growth process. Socrates, really cool quote I found, he examined life is not worthy of living, which echoes the mystic skeptic path, highlighting the importance of self-examination, right? Being able to examine the self, question, and the pursuit of wisdom, the pursuit of knowledge or understanding. Socrates' approach to me was wisdom with questioning and a dialogue that mirrors the skeptic endeavors to explore spiritual depths while maintaining a critical stance towards the experience and our beliefs. I was talking to someone earlier about this talk, and it was a dear friend named Ron, and he said he doesn't even really do this. He was like, he said, I might have to go smoke some weed before I will listen to that topic. I know. I'll get a little bit more practical, right? But hopefully you can hang in there for a little while. In essence, bringing a mystic is about embracing the mystery of existence while applying the lens of skepticism and critical thinking. This is so important. That this is so important. That's what makes you more of a mystic, is because you're embracing your existence, but you're also applying the lens and of being a skeptic. But not being a skeptic is not just pushing everything away. Being a mystic and using things like skepticism is has a lot to do with critical thinking. So it wasn't when a person says, I don't believe in hell. See, I understand, or I feel, or I'm connected to the fact that I will do research whenever it comes to the authenticity of the sacred words. How sacred are, but then we find out within the sacred words that we use in life that were replayed or played back into, here's Ron right there, words that were played back into other stories, so you can hear the Christ story from other religions or other beliefs or other faiths. So critical thinking tells me, like, why, or once I ask the question why. So, and then what happens is critical thinking, and the skeptic also says, we start looking at race. We start looking at where we come from, especially me. I start looking at African spiritualism and how it has the Black church. There's a new documentary called The Gospel out. And so when we think about those things, like the church in general, if we talk about that, we have adopted a lot of things based on, right, the lack of critical thinking. A lot of it we are afraid of, even the word mystic, even though, like, all of the people that you would say in these sacred words or these sacred scriptures were mystics. Hmm. Ron, did you smoke? I love it. I love it. I love it. Oh, I'm going to review that. So, in essence, being a mystic is about embracing the mystery of existence while applying the lens of skepticism and critical thinking. It's about seeking a deeper understanding of the spiritual realm, not through blind faith or just accepting, but also questioning, exploring, uh, um, integrating, and experiencing uh, life, if you will, experiencing the world. And then as we move out of duality, just constantly thinking like this reality, we can begin to move into oneness. So, in order to move into oneness, skepticism, mysticism, right? And we just begin to just question our beliefs. What did Bishop say? He said, what do you believe? And how do those beliefs add or subtract to the quality of your life? Right? I'll paraphrase that. So I like to be practical. In other words, like, if I believe in something, why do I believe that? Case in point, someone talked to me a few days ago, and he was talking about liberals. He was talking about politics, and he said the reason why he isn't one, something to do with taxes or something. He just said why he isn't one. So my mystic and my skeptic says, why would you believe that? I'm okay with him believing whatever because I understand where he's from. So 9 times out of 10, if you look at the whole United States, there's a there's there's a path where we had the Civil War, and all of a sudden you can automatically see if you are born in this physical location without critical thinking, discernment, without a level of consciousness, you're not even going to be able to critically think and make an assumption, just an assumption. What if it was that I'm born here? What if it was that I'm born here, and since I'm born here, I have this idea, and I have this idea since I'm born here? Is this idea, how does that belief add or subtract to the quality of my life? So some traditions, like within church and people doing the thing within church, some of that I can understand. Some of it can be okay. All of it can be okay if that's what if that's what where you are. A lot of those people don't necessarily agree or like other people that don't do that. Where I'm okay if you do, right? I am not a person that chastises a person that does that. I believe it could be healthy actually, as it's discovered in science. But at the same time, when it comes to critical thinking, when it comes to the skeptic and actually questioning and not just being a skeptic towards things that uh, where you have a bias and you actually are doing and believing what you want to believe based on what you've been told. All these things will lead and can lead out of duality and into oneness. So the journey of the mystic to me is a path of balance where skepticism does not hinder spiritual exploration, right? But also rather grounds it in personal truth and authenticity, the divine authentic self I speak of a lot. It's a reminder that the pursuit of spiritual wisdom and the quest for knowledge are not mutually exclusive, but they're interconnected threads basically to the fabric of our understanding and who we are, right? What do you guys think in your own life, right? What do you think about these things in your own life? Hopefully these what I'm saying is practical and it's fueling you or giving you some level of fuel, not to refute, but for your own critical thinking. And I'm here to let you know also that as you do this, you begin to be or can be closer to your own divineness of who you are, right? You can be connected to, that's where we get connected to our calling if we understand. If you have any questions, I'm looking over here at YouTube, making sure if you guys have any questions or any thoughts, make sure you put them in the chat and we can keep I'm sitting here and I'm chatting it up, but at the same time, I'm very interactive. And I know one thing is a lot of you people that are connected to me are powerful people. You guys know something, right? They always used to talk about the meat and the milk and all these different things. And my thing is like, it's really just a practical conversation that the oneness within us is, I believe that we are all interconnected. And the minute that we can let our guards down, the minute that we can open up to be free, the minute that we can, re- how they say, awaken or realize, think about what they're doing with the term woke, or if it's like not woke, it's to awake or to awaken. Like, look at what they're doing with the term. They're taking the term WOKE, right? It's no different than God, right? We take these terms and we turn these terms into something that they really are not. Like, yes, you want to be woke after you fall asleep. It makes sense, doesn't it? Because if you're not, you're not here, right? And I know they're talking about levels, and of course, they're not even talking about levels of consciousness. They're talking about the way a person would live their life in this three-dimensional world, and they may be a little bit more progressive, and progressive meaning they may want to explore in this three-dimensional world, right? On how they are living or want to live. And so, whenever they are referring to and using the term and actually claiming the term, they're taking terms that were actually the term woke goes back to the 60s when it was relating to African Americans, right? As I say, American Africans. And the fact that they would say stay woke, right? Because of the fact that the skepticism from the history of what we experienced in history hit us in a level of consciousness, hit us in a heart, and we had to question, and some would not question. Some would actually stay on the porch. And we have a lot of people staying on the porch. Why are they staying on the porch? Because in order to get off the porch or in the porch of your thinking, and a lot of this is tied, right? Because when we think of spirituality, that's a term too. SPIRT. I like to take little notes. When you think of the term spirituality, what do we think of? A lot of times when you think spirituality, especially in this country, you think God. And when you think God, you think about the Western church. Miss Marie says, being skeptical does not have to be negative. I believe it just shows your awareness. Absolutely. Skepticism is a form of critical thinking. It's not even about deception and just running. It's just questioning. That's it. And why do you question it? You question it to ask questions just to see if it's aligning with your beliefs. And if it doesn't align with your beliefs, investigate, research, critical thinking, get an understanding, go to YouTube, right? Connect. It's not that it's really not that hard once you actually can cross over. And what I mean by crossover goes back to whenever I was just talking about the person that was talking about their political beliefs. You could be okay with your political beliefs where no matter where they align, as long as you understand that someone else's political beliefs may be where they are just because of where they were born. A lot of people in America are Christians and believe in God because of where they were born. A lot of people believe, and they believe in as far as the evangelical and the Western side of Christianity, and they're the infallible is because of the fact that they're in America. And number two, because of the fact that the evangelicals and Pentecostals back in this, so you say in the 50s and 60s, took on the role of a corporation. Follow me. They took on the role of a corporation. They go to Hollywood, right? Carlton Pierce told me that Jimmy, who was it? He said that Oral Roberts had a parking space right next to Johnny Carson. Once we went to Hollywood, once they took the church to Hollywood, and then all of us, so there's a website called Church Marketing Sucks, and it talks about church marketing. Now you have the elements of a corporation and the corporation's issues, but you got the elements of a corporation integrated into a fundamentalist belief system that will chastise, that will literally psychologically um, deceive you to get you to believe what they believe through a collective conscious matter. We're really getting into a deeply psychological um, mind f because of the fact that it will be hard for a lot of people to move in that space. And that's the reason why Bishop had this thing, and he really moved into this thing of being included and start talking about inclusion. And the thing is I believe that that is a space and a thing that um, um, is necessary for sure, 100%. But to get to oneness or an understanding of oneness, right? There's a lot of letting go that we need to do. There's a lot of letting go that we should do. There's a lot of letting go that doesn't feel good. And not only that, I also know that when we start looking at the shadow, right? When you start critically looking at yourself and being like, I could do better. Wait, maybe I'm the problem, right? Oh, wait, I don't know everything. You begin to ask questions. And sometimes it can be uncomfortable to ask questions to yourself, right? What did they say? To thy own self be true. To that own self be true. Someone just mentioned that they want to see more about mysticism. And I have a quick 4-minute video that the person spent a little bit more time. And the thing about it, too, is scientists, when it comes to this, a lot of this comes from sacred, if you will. This comes from um, history, long time ago. And so it's, to me, it's really more to do with it is critical thinking, but it's really the understanding or getting connected. And I would add the word redefining who God is, right? And what God is. It's really hard when we've been told that God is, right, this. And then you're born over here and God is this, and God is this, and God is this. So we're going to take one more quick journey. I'm sorry, Instagram, you guys will have to, I will have to show it to you in a different manner versus this over here. One day I'll get this completely figured out. So I want you guys to see this one last thing here. I want you to see this last little video. Here we go.
Mysticism is the experience of union or direct awareness of ultimate reality. It is the belief that conscious knowledge of God, spiritual truth, or non-duality can be attained through subjective experience. Mysticism is predominantly known as becoming one with God, or the Absolute. But it also refers to positive human transformation, supported by various spiritual practices and experiences. Mysticism originally refers to the spiritual and contemplative dimensions of early and medieval Christianity, where seekers of Christ, truth, and God went within and reported extraordinary experiences and states of mind. In modern times, mysticism is seen to be found in all religions and spiritual traditions, as it simply refers to the inward search for truth and reality by whatever name. All traditions agree that such a movement is possible, desirable, and available to everyone. The seeking of illumination, Bodhi, Kensho, Nirvana, liberation, enlightenment, self-realization, and even salvation can all be described as mystical pursuits. The spiritual words are just concepts, all pointing to the same thing: spiritual awareness of the ineffable absolute is beyond the theology of divine names, concepts, or exclusivity. The kingdom of heaven, the Holy Spirit, your Buddha nature, Christ consciousness, the Supreme, are all labels pointing to the inner mystical dimension of ultimate truth and reality. Mystics are those most dedicated, rare, and committed spiritual seekers who transcend established belief systems, bypass the intellect, and dissolve their identification with personal identity and ego. They cultivate experience through devotion, meditation, contemplation, prayer, surrender, and letting go. Conceptual understanding of spiritual truth does play an important part in the evolution of consciousness, as it leads to the discovery and yearning for union and true wisdom. The wisdom that comes only from direct realization. The enlightened mystic has achieved that in a very supreme way. The dedication to truth is the only requirement. God is both transcendent and immanent, omniscient, omnipotent, and omnipresent. The great mystics of history are all in agreement with this fact. God is infinitely compassionate, loving, forgiving, merciful, peaceful, and benign, the source of all life and all of existence. Seek the truth, go within, and raise your level of consciousness.
Grammarly now uses AI to help you write, not just revise. Type a prompt and
There we go. I just realized that if you guys are on Facebook, you probably didn't see me live because the thing is not attached to my personal page; it's attached to my group page, and that's a problem with in the software. I have to looks like I got to fix as we get through these little bitty technical challenges that I didn't even realize. If you guys are on Facebook, I know people are probably trying to look for that page. And I just realized that it did not have my main page on there. Oh, technology. We push through and we one of the things that I learned is as we deal with issues in life, problems are a part of life. Like you're always going to have them there. You're always going to be dealing with different things in life. And so the thing is through my meditation and through my practices, we try not to let things get to us, if you understand. The more we can not let things get to us, the better I believe we can actually get through things in life, especially whenever it comes to this is going to be interesting, especially when it comes to things like driving. When you drive in a car and um, you're in the car and you're going off, and this is just a quick advice, and somebody's driving crazy or someone's doing something and you're getting mad at that person because they're doing something. It could be, it can affect you way deeper if you don't get to the point where, or try to get to the point where you realize or you understand that what's going on within you right? Within your consciousness, what's going on within your body, and being able to understand and let things go, right? And release things. So when you come up against certain things, and I'm really referring to that because of the fact that it looks like I had this technical issue last week, and out of, typically I don't necessarily, of course you have technical issues, but that one was like real minute. But to summarize, what I had discussed today is really looking at mysticism, because I believe we all have this within us, and being able to challenge ourselves. And what happens is sometimes you get into that mode where people ask, like, so what are you? Are you a Christian? Are you, oh, you don't believe in this? You don't believe in that? And it's like, I'm a critical thinker. Uh, and I don't necessarily, I'm trying to think about the labels. I understand that labels are a part of life, and I understand that labels are a part of us, but I'm thinking about the labels that I give myself. I'm thinking about the labels that other people give me, excuse me, and how those labels can affect me. And if I move into the space of not necessarily needing to choose a label, right? There's things that I might believe within all sorts of different aspects of life, even if it doesn't make sense to, um, even if it doesn't make sense in general, right? I might believe certain things that don't necessarily make sense. Sometimes things too within the space can get what we call as woo woo, and then all of a sudden people will be going down all kind of different paths and different ideas. And woo woo is whenever we start getting real so spiritual, earthly good, or you start getting into certain aspects of whatever it is, and that begins to take precedent, or that begins to be the way. What I mean by that is people that use what we call is metaphysics, right? Some levels of metaphysics, and then you got people that gets into the crystal side of metaphysics, which I think is totally fine. There's gold and crystals and iron and all sorts of different elements on the earth that we used to heck, the computer has all kinds of different minerals, and our body has it, and I can get the understanding of it. But sometimes you can get so deep and so wrapped up into it that everybody in the world needs to be doing this particular practice. And the only practice that I believe that the world needs to be practicing, whenever I say something that we practice, because in mysticism, especially, it's really your practices that you put together, right? And then your skepticism and your thinking and critical thinking. But that is levels of meditation. And whenever you really think about meditation and the practice of it, not just the spiritual outcome or what comes along with it, but just the practice of meditation, it's just practicing being present. It's just practicing putting the phone down. It's just practicing letting some of this earth like go, which you will one day. So why not do it while you're alive and use that practice to benefit you? Because that practice can benefit you to a point where you begin to see, and things begin to be revealed to your life and in your life. Deep breath. I appreciate everyone for taking this time out their evening and understanding and looking to understand and looking to connect with me. I appreciate it so much of what I've been doing in the past. And I've, for those that don't know, I've been talking to the camera, and I've been doing this for a very, very long time, even before I was with with Bishop. And so this is kind of a natural thing for me to speak and to think and to do these things. But I appreciate you guys so much. And what I would like for you guys to to do with me. If you guys are on Facebook, I know that my software didn't pick up the other Facebook, but I would like to take this moment once again as we end, right? Is to go ahead and ground, right? Setting intention, right? What are we doing? What are we working on? Where we're going? Being able to take that moment, pause. But I would like to take this moment and we're going to ground, right? I'm not sure if you understand, if people are familiar with grounding. If you think about a charge of energy, the ground is where that would flow through. So as I speak, it's just not my knowledge. It is something that is coming and working with me, through me, and hopefully it will resonate with your spirit. Hopefully it will resonate with you and allow you to resonate with it, because a lot you already know as we begin to let go. Up straight, sit up straight. Deep breath in from the diaphragm, from the lower belly, and I want you to pull, breathe in, and pull from that, from your root chakra, as they would say. Pull that up, and just keep breathing and pull it all the way up until you feel it come up all the way up to your head as it's passing through, and then release. And if you're in the sound of my voice, just take a moment just to close your eyes. And take slow breaths. At this moment, I want you to know that everything is as it should be, because everything is. As you begin to understand things in this life, especially when it comes to the manifestation of the life that you desire or that you want, what you want wants you. Who you are is already. All you have to do is begin to be. Let go. Allow. Connect. Release. Oneness is here now. It's already here. Who you desire to be and what you desire to be and where your life may go or where you want your life to go comes before it is here. So if you're with me right now, I would like for you to just find a place that you find your happiness. Find a place that is where you would like to be, or in this moment, maybe on a beach, maybe in the woods walking. The brain does not know the difference between reality and your thought when you think it. It's the reason why your adrenaline will still take place, even though you know that rope, it seemed like it was a snake. It's not a snake. So if you just take a moment and you begin to go to where you feel you want to be. So a lot of manifestation is not just the desire. A lot of manifestation is feeling. Feel it. Don't just see it. Feel it. Understand? Feel the healing. Feel the connectedness. Feel the oneness. You see it, but you feel it. When you begin to feel it, it begins to navigate and go through the cellular structures of your body. Deep breath in and feel your heart. Breathe from the heart in your secret place. Allow yourself to continue as we begin to connect to each other. The DNA in your body and the telomeres, that is the structure of the DNA in your body. And the aging process happens because the telomeres begin to die off. But you can lengthen the telomeres through this process. See yourself getting younger. Feel yourself getting younger. Allow this to connect to your greatness, who you are. You are divine. You are divine. I am divine. I am divine. Think of a moment that gets you excited. Think of a moment right now that gets you excited. Think of something that excites you. Letting it all go and just go into this excitement of being. You are divine. You are divine. Oneness, expansion of consciousness. When we feel the peace in the earth, we bring the peace. Feel the peace in ourselves, we bring the peace. Deep breath. Exhale with the tone. If you're there, shake off your hands, shake everything right now. Shake it off, shake it off, shake it off. Right? Shake it off. Shake it off. Appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you. Blessings, blessings, blessings. I send forth you and the divineness of who you are and the energy of healing as you begin to age backwards. Divine thoughts, divine ideas, the abundance that flows. Feel it, don't just see it. Feeling is the secret. Love and light. And dark. We embrace the shadow. We dance with our issues. Thank you guys for tapping in and tuning in. And next week, we'll do it again. Everybody good with that? We'll do it again. I'll still bring some people to the stage. I have some great, wonderful mystics, great, wonderful people that I'm going to, of course, invite. And also some of the people that um some rare people. But ultimately the goal is just to not necessarily um ultimately the goal is to help us heal, connect. That's the goal. Any comments, any shout outs? Yes. If anyone had a problem with the connection next week, I'll make sure that I have these things worked out. Um, I appreciate you. If you missed any, if you probably did miss some of the intro, but I'll make sure I get that shared to the page. Thank you guys so much. I do have some wonderful plans, things I'm doing. I don't want to just um, do the old Cash App thing. I really want to actually have a benefit of for everyone. Um, I do. There's quite a few people that are coming to Tulsa from different places, and I'm opening myself up to allow just to connect to people. I'm doing a few Zoom calls here and there, just for now to allow people to connect, and then um, next week I'll announce and have the private community. I'm still operating. And still calling myself, of course, I'm life coach Malachi. Expanded consciousness is forever something that I really enjoy. And as you may see in the thing, it says the Institute of Expanded Consciousness. So my dream is that we have various classes and various things that allows a person to connect and take various classes, and ultimately having a school of expanded consciousness in the sense of being able to um, possibly be a intuitive uh, coach, have other coaches, people that are able to understand the practices, understand the connection to help other individuals um, overcome certain aspects of life. I like transpersonal um, transformation, transpersonal. Transpersonal is basically using, psychology with spiritual aspects. But transformation, hopefully you had a transformation experience this evening. Transformation is something that I believe it's a matter of the heart, and it's a matter of being able to hear, and something changes, something twist, right? And then you begin to have some external results in this life. And so if those things sound good to you guys, hopefully, um, I want more than anything, I want all of us to grow as a community, and us to be able to come together, and us to be able to be the light um, of the world, right? And being able to actually work, being able to work who we are. There's a lot of people that are already coaches. There's some people that do Reiki and massage therapists, and there's some people that are speakers. There's people that come from churches. All you people, I'm a consultant and marketing agency, and a consultant, business consultant by day. Moving into this, of course, coaching more, and so um, I look forward to help you guys grow, help you guys formulate and become your higher self, connect to your higher self. Some can just take some of the classes to help their own self with their transformational process, but then others, we can really come together, put the curriculum together so that we can formulate something that allows people to go and use these techniques and these tools and these practices that allow people to have a transformation experience. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I look forward to seeing you again. And the other thing is, I will tell you, if you want to reach out to me, most of you guys got my direct, you can direct message me, Instagram, Facebook, um, YouTube. You can direct message me, and so that will, of course, we can stay connected. If you have ideas and things that you're struggling with or things of that nature, hit me up. I truly enjoy it, and I enjoy you guys, and I appreciate it. All right, I think that is a wrap, and I really appreciate it. And I love you guys. All right, until next time. Instagram. Go ahead and get my Instagram off, and Facebook, YouTube. You guys are amazing. We had a really great turnout tonight. If it wasn't for my mistakes, but I appreciate you. All right. All right. You guys have a wonderful and beautiful day. All right. Bye-bye.